This has been my dream to have my own conference, and the fact that the state of Nevada, my home state, my hometown, born and raised in Las Vegas, grew up across the street in a neighborhood across from the North Las Vegas airport, went to Cheyenne High School out in North Las Vegas, and have laid my foundation here. Graduated from UNLV in 2003 with a degree in communication studies. Funny that I did that, and now I'm in the world of finance. And when I chose my major, I went through the catalog and said, what does not require math? Right? What major do I have to only take maybe one math class? And that was communications. And I was like, I can do people. I was an advisor on campus at the time. And here we are. Gosh, that was in 2003. So 20 years later, I'm here in front of an amazing, talented group. I get to share what I have for you today. And most of all, just celebrate who you are. So I'm a personal finance coach. That is my role in the world. That is my chosen role in the world. And like most people in finance, I didn't wake up thinking one day I was going to be a financial advisor. No one ever really does, to be honest with you. And women in particular do not, because less than 25% of financial professionals in the United States are women. Fewer than that are women of color. So we don't have a lot of role models in finance, and that's another reason why I'm excited to be here today, is to talk to you and share with you what I know about finance or money in my own way and inspire you to take this game on yourself. Who's ready to take your own money game to the next level? Yeah, I love that. Wait, give me that one more time. Woo! Okay, so those are some of my roots. But let me tell you why I'm really here. In 2011, I was the director of advising for the Honors College at UNLV. I was 31 years old. I had a 3-year-old son going on 4, and my husband, now ex-husband, was burning the candle at both ends at Wolfgang Puck. And if you're around in the 90s and the early 2000s in Las Vegas, Wolfgang Puck was taking off like wildfire. And he was working 100 hours a week. I was working 60 to 80 hours a week, burning the candle at both ends. We had a little one. So I did what a lot of women did, and what a lot of women did during the pandemic, and I left my job. Who can relate? Yeah? I was like, something's got to give. I don't have female role models at the time at home. My mom was a stay-at-home mom who can show me how to navigate this water of a professional woman, and I broke. And it gets worse. So in 2011, I left. At that time, I had a pretty good life for myself. I was a homeowner, 1 child, had almost $100,000 in my 401k. My husband was on the up and up at Wolfgang Puck. So I'm like putting all of the pieces together, and I'm like, all right, cool, I have my shit together. So let me go ahead and be a stay-at-home mom for a little bit and support my husband. 9 months later, he lost his job. So the cushy, stable life that I thought that I had was actually built on a stack of cards, and it only took one move to blow it all down. So from 31 to 36, I had my first, I wouldn't even call it a midlife crisis, I would just call it a crisis of like, who am I? What am I doing with my life? I don't know, I can't recognize this world around me. My husband was an alcoholic, still is, that's why I divorced him. There was a lot that was not working for me in my life. And you might be thinking, what is she doing on the stage? But the story turned around for me. What I realized through that mess of my life, through nearly losing it all, was that there were a lot of belief systems in my own brain about who I was and my own relationship with money and self-worth that were playing a big game in my mindset, which attributed to a lot of failure that was showing up all around me in my life. And it took me nearly losing everything. In 2016, I had decided to go back to work after my husband was in and out. There's a long story. It's actually in the book, so you can read the whole story in the book. This is a short version of it, where I was a financial advisor in 2014. I went back to work to get more income, and also I had heard, the story was that as a financial advisor, you could have unlimited earning potential. All right, do we have any financial advisors in the room? There were a lot in the panels today, this morning. And I was like, I want that. I left UNLV in 2011 saying I don't want to work for anybody ever again. I want to work for myself. Didn't know what that looked like, but I was really committed to it. And I used the $80,000 that I had in my 401k as a financial advisor to try to figure out how to save my marriage and start a company at the same time. Because of what I teach today, going back to mindset and why I'm really strong on mindset and behavior, we're going to talk about the relationship between the two financially today in my workshop, which is why you're here, hopefully. Because of the way that my relationship with money and worth was interplaying there, I was up against it as a financial advisor. I grew up across the street, not literally, but in a neighborhood across the street from the North Las Vegas airport. My dad was a stagehand. He never made more than $60,000 a year as a stagehand. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. Everything that they modeled to me was about financial security and scarcity. So when I became a financial advisor, to have unlimited earning potential and to make millions myself, I was working around millionaires. Everybody in my firm were millionaires. Our clients I was trying to acquire were millionaires, and I had never been around money like that in my life. I was a fish out of water. I was lost. I knew more about money as a financial advisor than I ever had before, but I didn't really know how to create it for myself. I didn't know how to ask for money. I was an employee of the state, or, UNLV. So I collected a paycheck. I made $54,000 a year when I left UNLV. For me, that was big money. That was big money because my dad never made more than $60,000 a year. So fast forward to 2016, I had $20,000 left to my name, $40,000 in credit card debt. I was on the verge of losing my house, and I was freaking out. Would anybody else be freaking out? Maybe you've been there. I'm freaking out. And here's the other thing. I'm not talking to anyone, sharing this to anyone in my life because I felt like a failure. I was ashamed. I didn't know what to do. My backyard, it's Vegas, right? So I lived in Southern Highlands. My backyard was about the size of this concrete slab, about the size of the stage. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, what am I going to do? Looking at the moon, praying to God, how am I going to figure this out? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm going to pay the mortgage next month. It was really, really scary and really, really isolating. And I don't know for you where you're at in your life. I don't know what financial stresses or struggles you have or have had in your life. What I am here today to do is to, one, tell you that no matter what you're going through or have gone through or what you want to do, because I want to talk about financial elevation, you're not alone. And it takes a lot of courage for me to tell my story as an expert on the stage, right? And you're like, wait, what is she doing on the stage again? I had to confront my own financial limiting beliefs in order to turn things around, and I did that. How did I do that? Step 1, I invested in myself. I met a coach. Her name's Robin Crane. This is her test that you'll be taking here in a minute. If you're taking it, that means if you're already taking it, means you're an overachiever. Hang on just a minute. Wait for the rest of us to catch up with you. I'm just kidding. What does it mean? I'll tell you in just a minute. But Robin taught me that my mindset has everything to do with who I want to be in this world, and I have to shift my mindset in order to get to that next step in my life. With the right steps, with the right beliefs, with the right tools, as a business owner, I left my financial firm. I realized I don't want to be a financial advisor. This is the woman that I want to be in the world today. This is the woman that I get to be in the world today. But it took courage, and it took me throwing down $10,000. I had $20,000 left to my name. I invested $10,000 into a coaching program, and I turned my whole life around. In a matter of 10 months, I made 6 figures for the first time in my life. And I haven't looked back. And that's why I'm here today. This conversation is not about me. I just felt like I owe it to you for you to get to know me and know where I'm coming from so that we can do some good work together and that you can make some connections for yourself about what's going on in your own life. Does that sound good? Fair? Okay, cool. I don't know where I'm at with the PowerPoint. Let me turn this on. Okay. Money moves. Life is about making money moves. This whole summit is about making money moves. I was in a grant writing conversation this morning. You all went to workshops this morning. You heard our guest speakers this morning talk about the moves that they're making financially. And this is what my world is all about, is helping women learn where you're at, what you need, so you can take the right moves and make the right moves for yourself, regardless of what that means for you financially, okay? I know we're all in different places financially. I get that. I get to coach people every single day with their finances. But first, we want to talk about some money moves today. why are we here? I know why I'm here because Tia called me, and I was like, yes. Actually, Tia, I don't know if she's in the room, but we were college recruiters together back in the day, which is really cool. We all start somewhere, right? So I know why I'm here, and it's to make an impact. I'm on a mission for women, all women, to become the financial leaders of their lives. Not only am I on a mission for all women to become the financial leaders of their lives, I'm on a mission for women to become the financial leaders of the world. Who can join me in that mission? Let's do it. Let's do it. And it starts with you knowing that you're taking the right action in your own financial life. We had a conversation about this today, didn't we? Like, I think I'm doing okay. But the truth is, if you're anything like me, pacing my backyard at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm left to my own devices. I don't know what I don't know. And in order for us to get to the next level as women financially in the world, we have to do it together, and we have to have open, honest conversation about it. We have to say, hey, I don't know what I don't know. Help me, and find the right people to do that. And today I'm going to talk about what that can look like for you. Cool? Yeah? Yes. Okay. So what I want you to do is take a risk. Take a risk. You've been sharing with everyone all day long. Maybe you have some new people at your table, but take 2 minutes at your table and share at your table about why you're really here. So here's the thing. You could say, I'm here because my boss told me to be here, and be a victim to it, right? Or I'm here because someone sponsored my table and they thought it would be really cool, so I'm here, right? That's a safe answer. Why don't you share the real answer? Why are you here? What's important about money to you? What's going on? That's my invitation for you as a coach in this moment. So take a couple minutes and share at your table about why you're really here, and we'll come back and we'll talk about what that means, okay? 2 minutes, go. One more minute. Take 1 more minute. Why are you here? Thirty seconds. All right, go ahead and finish up that last thought at the table. Take the last thought at the table. Does anybody want to share? Why are you here? Aaliyah, will you hand the microphone? Yes. Why are you here? Let's go ahead and share it to the larger room. Finish up what you're talking about at your table. Why are you here?
Hi, I'm Denise, and I am financially illiterate, and I don't want to be that way anymore.
Thank you for sharing that, Denise, right? Let's give her a hand. Thank you for being here, Denise. Thank you. I was too, for sure. Yeah, Brittany.
I'm here because last year, coming from a long family of not planning financially, last year my husband had a heart attack and I lost my job in the same week. And he was out of work because he did a physical job, could not physically go to work, and I couldn't go to work. And thankfully, we had enough in savings to get us through that. And the feeling of not having to ask anyone for money or take out a loan or have to go through whatever you need to do. To not have to worry about that was really impactful. And that's the first time in my life I've had a moment where it's been, wow, I'm okay. And seeing that impact of saving your money, and it's made me passionate about being involved in that kind of in financial planning. So,
I love that, Brittany. Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, one more share. Why are you here?
Since I started being vulnerable upstairs, I might as well continue. So, in the last year, I have experienced another divorce, had to move back across the country, got COVID, was out of work, and have since been let go from my job, my full-time job. And with all of this, with no savings, literally none, zero, also a little financially illiterate, although learning, and I don't like the way this feels. And I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but never really successful at it. And I want to change. I want today to be the last day that I live in that space.
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for taking a risk. It's not easy to say those things, and definitely not in a room. Thank you. And in my opinion, having the privilege of working with people in their most intimate parts of their lives, and that's personal finance, this is the stuff that really matters. Being able to take care of ourselves in the face of, unforeseeable tragedies. Being able to get back on our feet as entrepreneurs, start businesses, live our dreams. And when we don't have the right information, and most importantly, when we're not clear how to take action ourselves, we get stuck. How many of you felt stuck? Or maybe you feel stuck right now. Yeah, we get stuck. And that's the power of community, and that's the power of relationship, and that's the power of women. When we get together and we talk about the real stuff, and then we have the ability to get clarity and take action, that's how the world changes, and we're doing it every single day in our own lives and in the world. And that's the game that I want to play. You ready? Yes, let's do it. Okay. How does this? Inspiration. So, inspiration as a coach, and having been a part of a lot of different personal development seminars. How many of you go to personal development seminars, or you go to conferences and you get pumped up and you hear from Sandra at lunch and you hear from these great speakers and they tell their stories and someone tells you, do this thing. And you're like, yes, I'm going to do it. Today's the day. Finally, I'm going to make the change. And then in 3 days, we just had an event. Dana and I were talking about this. Dana's on our team. We just had an event on Saturday, and we had the women, they were pumped up, they were excited, they were ready to go take their life to the next level. 3 days later, Dana was sitting at the coffee table with a woman who chose not to take the next step, and she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's that fast. It's that fast. So that's my warning to you, right? That Zach's opened up today's conversation about investing in yourselves, investing in the state, all the things. Without the right tools, the right people, the right support, it's very hard to try to operate on inspiration alone. That's my warning to you. YouTube is amazing. I'm on YouTube. I think it's amazing. And you can only take that so long in your life. And for finances, especially, you've got to have support, and you've got to have the right conversations. What's important about money to you? We just heard from a couple of women. What else? What else is important about money to you? Just shout it out. Stability. What else? Freedom. What else? Independence. Did I get that right? Independence. What else? Enjoyment. Fun. Who wants to have fun with their money? Yeah, we like to do that. I'm a Vegas girl, right? What else? Or other people's money? Vegas girl. What else? Huh? That it lasts. We had Sandra talking about the importance of having a plan and money for your future. Is that important to you? What else? Generational wealth. Absolutely. Who wants to pass down wealth to their children? Or to their grandchildren? Or to the community? Yes. What else? Philanthropy. Philanthropy. State of Nevada, city of Las Vegas is one of the most philanthropic cities in the United States. Did you know that? We have such a philanthropic giving community. And when we have the assets, and we're going to talk about what that looks like, actually, what's coming to us, I'm going to talk to you about what that looks like for us today in America in terms of the wealth that's coming our way. When we have more, can we give more? Absolutely. What else? I'm going to leave you in that question. Because the first question that usually comes when I do these workshops is security, right? The first answer is security. And then maybe sometimes wealth, generational wealth. There's a whole lot more reasons that money is important to you. And I'm going to leave you in that question today and in a coaching capacity for you to get really like, what else? Why else is it important? Because security alone, guess what? When you are only in a conversation about money being security, it can go like that, right? It can go, and then your security's gone. We have to be in a larger conversation about money and why it's really important in our lives. Ooh, over here. I'm over here. Today, there was a statistic in one of the workshops about 51% of the wealth in America, well, money, household financials, 51% of household financials are being controlled by women. So let's get clear on what control really means. There's the feeling of being in control. Some of you may not feel like you're in control, even if you are in control. For me, I was the breadwinner at UNLV. My husband's, and then he took off, and then he was unemployed, so I was always the breadwinner in my first marriage. I was in control of the household finances, but very rarely did I actually feel like I was in control. Who can relate to that? 51% of women in America are in control, but does that mean that you feel like you're in control? What does that really mean? And also with this statistic, 33% of wealth in America is being controlled by women. So it means that we're driving the decisions that are being made about wealth in America. Does that mean we own all the money? Does that mean the accounts are in our name? No, you're shaking your head because that's probably in your life or in someone's life, someone else owns the account, you're just in control of it, yes? This number means a lot to us. Are we really in control? And 33%, on the other side of that, what that means is 77% of the world's, 77% of the world's, or the United States wealth is being controlled by men. So we get to celebrate that number because it's probably, and I've watched it 2015, 2018, 2020. This number continues to climb. This is a great deal of money. Guess what? 85% of the world's wealth is spent by women. Let that sink in. 85% of the world's wealth is spent by women, but we're only in control in the United States of 33% of it. We have a lot more say in what goes on financially in the world than we think we do. So for me, that's a very empowering number, a very empowering thought to say, okay, let's go. We've got a lot of control, but I want more. What would it look like in the world if we had 50% control or 51% control? What would that look like? Can we even imagine it? For me, what it looks like is that our communities are safer and that we have laws in place that represent all of us and our needs and our wants. For me, that looks like in the era of philanthropy is that our kids don't go hungry, right? Like I'm a part of the Hope for the City campaign in Las Vegas when the pandemic hit. We have so many kids and families that are still food insecure right here in our hometown. If we were in more control than we thought we were financially, how would that change as women if we came together and took control? That's our job. No longer am I waiting for someone to give me control of my financial life. I have a podcast, it's called Real Money, and I had my husband on in our episode. We were bantering back and forth, but he gave me control of the household finances, and that felt really good, that I get to make decisions about what's going on in the best interest of my family, and I get to play a bigger money game than he could, and that's really cool. So this is why money matters to me, but here's this, ladies, watch this. What happens by the end of this decade? 10 trillion today, 30 trillion. So that goes up. That moves the needle forward to, let's say, 40%. I didn't actually run the math, but let's say 40%. We're getting there. So the question is, are you ready? Are you ready? Because that money's coming to us as women. It's on the way. The statistics are showing it. And without a trusting relationship, we talked about trust this morning, without a trusting relationship with money, without understanding how to actually create the legacy you want, without having conscious conversations about money, are you going to be ready to be a part of the biggest wealth transfer that this country has ever seen? Are you ready? And I don't know that question. I think I might be, but like those are scary numbers. What would I do with $1 million, let alone 30 trillion, right? And that's for us as a community to come together in the state of Nevada to start here, start now in the state to say what needs to happen in my own life today so that I can play ball with these numbers, that I get to take part of this conversation financially in my life so that other people can win too, and the world gets to win. This is our time, ladies. I believe it, do you? This is our time. This is our time. We're back here in Las Vegas having a conference for women, and I think this is just going to be common conversation for every state moving forward about how do we get into the game in a bigger way. So why are you here? We had that conversation. Let's do this. Let's shift gears. You can listen to me all day, but I want you to be able to contribute too. So at your table, take another couple of minutes. What's been your biggest takeaway today, not just in this workshop so far, but what is it you're going to take away with you from what you've learned so far today? Take a couple of minutes at the table and share that. Take one more minute. What's your biggest takeaway so far at this conference today? Thirty seconds. Take 30 seconds. All right. Who wants to share? What's your biggest takeaway so far today at the summit? What's your biggest takeaway? Aaliyah's got the microphone. She'll bring it over to you. You're good? Okay, she's good. Okay. What's your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaways today, even with the workshops I've been in, we were just talking about, it was that first thing that hits you in the morning when she said trust, grace, and bravery. To be able to give myself grace, to trust myself, and to be brave enough to do what I say I'm going to do.
That's absolutely. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. Financially, I'm going to talk about how you can set yourself up for that. That's really important. You got to trust yourself, and you got to trust yourself with money. Trust yourself, and trust yourself with money. Yes?
Good afternoon, ladies.
Hi.
Hi. You all look so beautiful today. So one of the things that I took away from today is just the networking part of it, that we need each other. As women, we need to support each other more. And when we see each other doing great things, it's okay to give each other a high five, a pat on the back, a go girl, a go queen. You know, it's all those things, and that's what is important. And I think the more that we support each other, because I think sometimes when we're on this island by ourselves called entrepreneurship or small business owner, sometimes we feel unseen. And so these type of events give us an opportunity to be seen and be displayed in a different light, because sometimes people don't always believe in your vision, but because God put it in you, is your vision. And it's up to you to, execute it. Okay? So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much. Yes. Yes. We have work to do in the world of finance for women, because we can, I think it was Sandra talking about the self-care game, that we're mastering that. As a coach, I have lots of different coaches in my world. I have therapists in my world. That women, we're learning how to take care of ourselves and our health. We're learning how to take care of ourselves in our careers. We've got more CEOs, female CEOs than ever, more female legislatures, women in leadership. Sandra's the president of the Raiders. We're figuring this out. Let's not leave the money conversation behind out of shame or fear. Or for me, a lot of times, it's really just my ego. That, help, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a money expert. I still have my team. My best friend, Dana, she's a financial advisor. She's my financial advisor, and we meet monthly just to talk. Just to talk, right? You don't have to know anything about money to have a conversation about your personal financial situation and what you're up to, and find champions in the same area like you would any other area. We can do that. It might be hard, it might take some courage, but we can do that. I know we can. I know we can. Here's my truth. I'm going to give you some truth bombs. Your decisions, every decision you make, whether you realize this or not. Some of you, I don't know who you are in this room, but some of you are avoiders when it comes to your money. You don't have to tell on yourself. It's okay. I know. Some of you are avoiders, and you like to think about your financial situation as being like on the side of the game field, of the playing field of your life. And it's just over here in an account. And sometimes you'll look at the account, and sometimes you won't, depending on what's in the account. Who can relate, right? There's lots of money in the account, you want to look at it. There's no money in the account, you don't want to look at it. I know that's not everybody in the room, but that's some of you in the room, yeah? And then it's scary, and then you get like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then you look, I'll tell you this, my book title, Girl, Get Your Shit Together. I've driven down the I-15 my entire life. It looks a lot different than it did in the 70s and 80s growing up. But I've been driving down the I-15 to college, to all the things my entire life. And I knew I was going to write a book, and I knew I was going to tell my story. My story's in my book. And I'm driving south past the Tropicana, like past Tropicana, right? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to call this book. And I had a lot of opinions from a lot of people about what to call my book. And people told me, Lisa, if you title your book, Girl, Get Your Shit Together, people are not going to take you seriously in the finance industry. People are not going to read it. They're going to judge you or shame you or, all the things. And I'm going to, at that point, kind of like getting out of the financial advice industry. And I'm scared. But here's the thought that comes to my head. Lisa, get your shit together. And don't we all do that? Yes, we're in a room full of successful people. We're listening to successful vice presidents of banks tell us all these amazing things all day long. And I know some of you are judging yourselves like, hey, get your shit together. You need to get your shit together. So I thought, I'm going to title my book that, because I go into rooms of successful people all the time, and I go, oh my God, Lisa, get your shit together. Like, who are you? This is why that conversation matters, because all of your choices involve your money or someone else's. It's just the world that we live in. If we can accept that as a fact of life, of this way of life, you may not like it. I do these seminars all the time, and I talk to people who wish that money was not a thing. They want to go back to the barter system. Who wants to go back to the barter system, right? It would be so much easier if we could just trade chickens. Yes? In other parts of the world, maybe that's the case, but in America today, especially, money is a part of the fabric of our lives. Let's choose into it. Let's choose into it and make all of our lives better because of it. Yes? It's not my money, it's not your money. That's the scarcity conversation that people like to play. I'm abundant in saying that it's worth all of us. We've got $30 trillion coming our way in this decade. Let's own it. Let's be a part of it. And be conscious of the conversations that you're making on a daily basis. That's how it ties into personal finance in my world. Your relationship with money is inescapable. If you take this away, if this is the only thing that you take away, you have to realize, and this is what my book is about, you have a relationship with money, whether you choose into that or not. You have an actual relationship with money because you have a relationship with yourself. But the money industry talks a lot about the logical things about money. If you're following a financial expert, good for you. I follow lots of them, and they want to talk about all the things that you can do with your money. How many of you have financial experts in your world that tell you what you can do with your money? Put it in a Roth IRA. And then that's confusing. Do I put it in a Roth IRA? Do I put it in a traditional IRA? Do I put it in a 401k? Do I put it in my pension plan? What do I do? Do I put it in a savings account, a high-yield savings account? Where do I go, right? How do I spend my money? Do I save it? Do I spend it? Do I invest it? It's very confusing. There's a lot of people telling you a lot of things. I get that. Where was I going with that? Your relationship with money is inescapable, and you all have different money personalities. Did you know that? Just like you all have different personalities in life, if you've ever done the DISC profile or different personality profiles, you all operate uniquely in the world, and so you will with money. If you're a conservative person, an analytical person, you might be that way with money. If you're a risk taker, like me, I'm going to take big risks with money that scare the bejesus out of other people. And we all have unique relationships with money. It's time to get into a relationship with your own money so you can play the game that you were born to play with money and everything else in your life. It's all connected. Can we agree on that? Okay? It's all connected. And if you're in relationship, if you have a significant other in your life or a business partner or children, they all have their own relationship with money too. And they all are motivated by certain things. We teach these money personalities in my world. I will not do that today, but just so you know, I want to leave you with that. You cannot escape your relationship with money. Good luck trying. That is how I was the woman at 33, 34 years old. Can't wait for my toddler to go to bed because he was a handful, and pour my glass of wine and zone out and watch Oprah and pretend like none of my money problems existed. And they were still there in a big, fat way until I dealt with them. Now, you're going to take a test today because I, as a coach, it's my job to get my clients out of their comfort zone. And to do a workshop, I get to have you also maybe take a risk and get outside of your own comfort zone. And part of that is feedback. In your financial life, if you think of it this way, we can neutralize the conversation, but your money is feedback. When I was going broke, I was getting a lot of feedback in my life about what wasn't working. So even though I couldn't escape it, I tried to avoid it. I tried to not look at it, and there it was. Yes? Same thing for all of you. Your money is your feedback for what's working and what's not working in your life. And so one of the exercises that we do in my world, which I'm not going to have you do today, is very first thing that women come to us and they say, I want to have a healthier relationship with money. I said, that's great. Let's track back the last 90 days and look at what's going on. Where did your money go over the last 90 days? And they're like, I really don't want to do that. I'm like, I know, because it's scary. You don't want the feedback. My invitation for you is take a little risk and give yourself some feedback today. Score yourself. And rather than a budget, because that's more complicated than my brain really likes, we're going to give you some clarity today. I'll come back to this. Did I skip it? Maybe I just skipped over myself. If you're confused, you do nothing. I want to skip to, okay, elevation. It has less to do with a budget, and that might challenge some of your belief systems, and I get that. That's my job, is to challenge people's belief systems and even your own. That's not saying that budgets aren't important, okay? That's just saying that if you want to elevate financially, my belief is that a budget will not get you there, okay? Budgets will help you stay safe and stable, and in order for you to elevate, you might have to take some new action. Are budgets valuable? Yes. Do you have to have a budget in your life? Some of you are going to love this answer. No. No, you do not, to elevate financially. Do you need to be in relationship with your money? Yes. And there are ways to do that without having an actual budget. That's systems, there's tools, there's lots of ways we do that in our world. And some of you are going to freak out and run home and go, she told me I don't have to have a budget. Yes! And some of you are going to be like, wait a minute, that is not what everybody has been telling me my whole life. I get that. We can work on that. But that's my truth. Elevation has a lot more to do with your mindset than having a budget, okay? So here's the equation that I talk about in my book. So you have this, and you have ways to work through this and getting in touch with your own relationship with money. But the first thing is actually it's your belief system about money. I was up against it because success is very important to me. I was a very successful young woman. I was student body president in high school, freshman class president, sophomore class president, junior class president, student body president. And then I went on to UNLV, and I was one of the youngest directors on campus. I mean, I went straight up the corporate ladder at UNLV. So success I was pretty used to, and I very much enjoyed. So when I wasn't successful, and I wasn't making any money as a financial advisor, for 3 years I didn't make any money as a financial advisor, the feedback in my life was, girl, this is not working for you. Look at this, shift it, change it. It had to be my belief system. Where that stemmed from for me is that I didn't believe I was worthy. My friend and I were just having this conversation about it coming into our 40s and 50s in life. And sometimes we get blocked. Maybe you experience yourself in your career right now, you're blocked, you can't get to the next step. Or you want to take the risk and start your own business, which we help women do all the time, but you're over here, like maybe your business is over here and it's saying, hey, I'm over here. And you're like, this is really scary, I can't do it, I can't move, I don't want to take a move. This is, you get in your own way because of your own beliefs about who you are and how the world is supposed to operate. So if we can unlock that and open that up, we can shift it. And your beliefs inform your behaviors. Your beliefs influence your behaviors. There's this a psychologist, Gerald Zaltman, who's done studies about the psychology of spending money. Marketers know who we are, ladies. We spend 85% of the world's wealth. And guess what? 95% of our purchasing decisions are in the unconscious mind. Let that land. 95% of our purchasing decisions, we get a bad rap. Who's heard that women are emotional with money? Yeah? We all are. Guys, too. They're emotional with money because 95% of our purchasing decisions are in the unconscious mind. That's our belief systems that's driving the bus. So you might say, and maybe some of you can relate to this, I'm going to save money. I'm going to save money. It's really important to me that I save money. Who says that? And then the very next day, you take money out of your savings account, you move it over to your checking account, and you spend it. Who does that? Telling yourselves it's okay, we all do it, yeah. You're like, what is going on? I said I was going to spend this money. I wasn't going to spend it, and then I spent it. It's this equation. It's your belief systems about who you are, about the world, all those things, and then it informs decisions that you make that might be counterintuitive to what it is you say you really want, okay? It's not your fault. I just want you to hear that. It is not your fault. Stop blaming yourselves. Stop shaming yourselves. It's a lot easier said than done. Give yourselves permission to be human for a minute and then figure out what you can do about it. That's the work that we do in my world, okay? So that's the equation that I think you should be more present with if you really want to change your life and you want to change your life financially. This is the equation that we're going to look at. So on your table, you have a quiz. That's it. We're going to get to work. We're going to work in this workshop, okay? You have the quiz. You do not have to share your quiz results with anyone else today, okay? These are your results. What I want you to do is take the quiz. It's 10 easy questions that are a mixture of belief and behavior, that formula. Some of them are beliefs, some of them are how you behave with money. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 for each question where you think you are. 10 being totally confident, yes, that's me. 1 being not very confident at all, no, that's not me at all, I don't do that, or I don't resonate with that. Okay, so take a few minutes, and when your pens are down, I'll kind of know that everybody is finished with the quiz. Then total it up, and you'll get your score at the bottom of the quiz. Okay? Total it up, you'll get your score at the bottom of the quiz. Between 10 and 100 should be your score. Okay, for those non-math people like me. Between 10 and 100 would be your score if you total it up correctly. Can we get maybe like a soft song or something while, are you taking the quiz, Sincere? No? Okay. All right, take the quiz, and then when your majority of your pens are down, we'll move to the next step. If you need help adding, phone a friend or use your phone. Who needs more time? Perfect. Thank you. It's not Alex anymore, right? Thank you. Yeah. Okay. We good? Thumbs up? You got your results? Yeah? Nobody? We're still doing math. Okay, we're going to wait. Okay, Eileen, did your score go up? Yeah. No, I just saw it on your face. I could see your face. Like, oh, we went up. Good? We're good? Okay. I'm not going to ask you to share your results. It's okay. All right. How many of you were surprised by your result? How many of you are surprised by your result? Yes? How many of you are not surprised by your result? Okay. Good. Okay, good. So that doesn't come to you as a surprise. Maybe that's good feedback for you. Maybe some of you are sweating a little bit, like, oh my gosh, what does it mean? The truth is that, and trust me, this is me. I hire coaches to give me feedback because I have a lot of blind spots, and financially, we all have blind spots. So, blue collar girl, my dad was a stagehand, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. There's a whole lot that I didn't know about money, because I was operating from just the way that I was raised. Just like Sandra. Was it Sandra this morning? Or, no, someone right before that was saying that their family taught them to get a good job, get health insurance, get a good job, get health insurance, and save money. That was pretty much the extent of their financial education. And if we're lucky, we get that from our friends or from our family. And a lot of times what happens is, because of our belief systems and how they're formed, our belief systems are actually formed before the age of 7. Most psychologists will say before the age of 7 or by 10. Our beliefs about the world are formed. And then we start operating from that belief system as a 7-year-old woman or man. And when it comes to money, if we never had good role models with money or any conversations about money, you may not even think you have a relationship with money at all. But what you experienced from your family growing up, you made stuff up about that and how they operated. My parents raised me my dad was raised in Georgia, very poor. He moved out to Vegas for better opportunities, and it was very save, get a safe job, make sure you have government benefits. That's why I started working at UNLV, and it was soul-crushing work for me. It was I'll say this, I loved being an advisor, but I knew that there was more. Let me say it that way. I knew that there was more for me. And all these belief systems that I was raised with had me holding myself back and then, causing havoc in my life. And you do the same thing. So when it comes to elevating, you have to know where you're at to then be able to get to the next level, because you have to choose where you're at first. If all you're doing is resisting what you're doing, write this down. What you resist persists. This is not a financial concept. This is a life coaching concept. I've been a life coach. I do my own personal coaching. Tony Robbins will tell you the same thing. What you resist persists. So if you're resisting your financial results in your life, if you're resisting the fact that you have debt, if you're resisting the fact that you don't have money in your bank account, if you're resisting the fact that you hate your job and you want to leave, what you resist persists. You have to choose what you have to get to somewhere else. That's what this feedback is for. It's like, all right, well, this is where I'm at. How do I get to the next level? Who wants to know how to get to the next level? Yeah, absolutely. That is why we're here. Okay, so here's what these scores mean. If you scored 80% above, again, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand. This is your personal score. If you tested on this test and you got an 80% or more, it's time to amplify. That's what that means to me. That you have systems in place that could be working for you. I'm going to challenge you on that. If you're of the 77% of women in America who are not in control of their finances, you might have scored high, but are you in control really? That's a question, not really an answer, just a question, just a thought. But your life, it could be working financially, you feel organized, you've adopted a growth mindset, or you're working on a growth mindset. And here's my challenge to you. If this is you today, share it with others. That's what you shared, Brittany, right? That you want to share this with others now. This is what I was able to accomplish in my life. I want to give it to others. The best thing that you can do, ladies, you do not have to be a financial expert to mentor each other and to have important conversations. Raise your hand and let others know that you want to have open, honest conversation about money. Here's how I did it. Now, how I do money is not going to be the same as everyone else, so be careful, right? How you do money is not how other people are going to want to do money. But if you have some keys and some tools that are working for you, let's share that out. Can we do that? Can we give that gift to other people and bring them with you? Because that's how we thrive together as women and in communities. Men and women. Okay, second set of scores. My husband and I were on the couch last night doing this test. He's like, I want to take the quiz. So he let me, when we got married, I got remarried in 2019. I got married again. And he was in control of his household finances. I was in control of mine. I was a single mom for a minute, through the divorce and everything. Totally different story. It doesn't matter. Here we are. So he scored, guess what he scored on the test last night? Lower than that, actually. He's lower than that. He was at a 52%, and he wasn't surprised. So he knows he's got some money mindset stuff, and he knows he's got to do better with this money, but he's got me. So I get to take care of the household finances, but we had a good laugh about that. And for you, if you scored here, it's time to elevate. And what I would challenge you, and then if you scored lower than that, we're going to talk about you next. But for those of you who scored in this range, what I'd like for you to do is look at the areas that you scored lowest on, like under 5, and really actually under 8. If on this test you have areas where you scored yourself lower than an 8, that is the area for you to leave today with a commitment to elevate in your life. Pick one. Pick one. And you, in the different workshops that you are at, you have a lot of new women in your life, new experts in your life. There's others upstairs that are speaking right now. Pick one area. Maybe some of you know you have to do a will and a trust. Maybe the household budget is working well, but you don't have a will and trust in place. Okay? One area. Maybe you have some different wheels working in motion, but you don't have life insurance yet. Pick one area that you know needs to happen. Maybe financially you feel pretty stable, but you know it's time to take the next step of faith into your career. That's elevating too, right? And if there's a mindset in there that you need to shift in order to get there, or you need to hire a mentor to get there, take that step. That's what elevation looks like, okay? I'm going to answer questions after this too. Okay, so for those of you who are below 49%, and I'll say that the majority of women that we work with when they come into our world will take this test and score below 49%. So you're not alone. Really, you're not if this is where you are. But that your money game can feel a lot like that little girl. Like, I'm scared, this is shaky, I don't know what I'm doing, I feel financially illiterate. Like, all of those pieces, those mindset pieces could be stopping you from getting to that next level. And a lot of it is just having clarity that you're taking the right action. And you get to learn those things, like take a workshop, right? Learn from a mentor, take an online course. And if numbers are confusing to you, keep it simple. I keep money very simple in my world, and my household, my business finances are a whole different ballgame. In my household, I keep money very, very simple. What came in, what went out, where's it going? You can do it. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. College major was communication studies for a reason, right? I didn't want math oriented. I got my first B in math in 4th grade. I've never forgiven it, okay? if I can learn the world of finance, so can you. It's not rocket science. It takes action, it takes conversation, and it takes you leveling up your knowledge. But start with where you're at. I promise you, if you start with where you're at and you make one commitment and consistent committed action, you can get there. But all of us, what our mindset we have today that got us to the place that we are today is not the same mindset that's going to get us to the next level in our life. You're welcome, right? Right? So if there's another level of success for you, if you've never been a millionaire and you want to be a millionaire, who wants to be a millionaire? Yeah? The mindset, if you're not yet already a millionaire, the mindset that you're going to need to get there is going to be a new mindset. And you'll need new people and new ways of challenging yourself. Every next level that I get in my business, I'm confronting another limiting belief. The worthiness conversation never goes away for me. Never goes away. It just gets a little quieter as I continue to move forward. And I need new mentors, and I need new conversation and new tools. So no matter where you scored on this quiz today, there's going to be a next level for you. I hope so. $30 trillion is coming our way, ladies. It's on the way. Who's ready for it? Yeah, make sure that your belief system and the action that you're taking aligns with that, because 95% of your conversations are unconscious. So you say you're ready, but if you're really not ready, you'll sabotage yourself. Who sabotages themselves? I do all the time still. It's human nature. It's not a perfect science, but it's totally, totally possible. Was this valuable? Does anybody want to share what they learned? We're not done yet. We're almost done. Shoot, we got to go. Okay, hang on just a minute before you share. I got some next steps for you really quick. Let me just breeze through this. I'll be here. I'm signing books after this too. You know where to find me in the book, and on the page is my website. I have classes coming up, all the things. I want to continue to have this conversation with you. Tia, thank you for having me here today. Thank you so much. Okay, some reasons you may not have the results that you want. Mindset, systems, money's not a priority. You just haven't made it a priority. That could be a case. And you're not optimizing. You're not optimizing your time. You don't have systems that optimize for you. We're all busy people. Outsource things you don't want to do. You can do that. I'm going to give you permission to not clean your house, okay? Just go make more money. $30 trillion is coming our way this decade. Go make more money. Have someone clean your home for you. It's okay. Pay them well to do it. Can we do that too? Yes? That's how we elevate the consciousness of women. You must do something new to get a new result, okay? You want something new? You've got to stretch outside your comfort zone. You've got to take new action. You've got to learn how to invest. Whatever it is that's stopping you, it's time to take new action. Next step. Life will not change until you take action and have a new mindset. So that's the combination, right? It's not going to change unless you take new action. You can want it all day long. Listen, ladies, you can read books all day long. I'm so grateful that you have my book. But if you do not actually walk the talk, you could snap back very quickly. This is why people win the lottery. They get into another level of life, another layer of life, and then what happens? They go right back to where they were because they stretched out and they didn't have the support to stay out, okay? Take new action coupled with a new mindset. That is a winning formula. I'm going to leave you with this thought because we're out of time. And I want to be very, how are we on time actually? We're out of time. Okay, I could talk all day long. There's 3 ways we invest, and I'll just bring it home to you in this way. There's money, and yes, women, we are actually really, really good investors when we know how to do it, when we take the time to learn it, because we are the most educated women on the planet today. Did you know that? Women, we have the majority degrees in every single degree, from associates to doctorates. Did you know that? We do. If we can do that in the world of education, we can do that with money, and here's how it starts. With our time, with people, and with our money. We invest every day with our money, every day with our time, and every day with the people that we're around. So if you want to get to the next level in your life, you might have to look at your time and your people too. I had to get a divorce. That's what it cost me. And I was happy to do it to be here today. Got it? Make sense? Okay, those are the 3 areas that we invest. I'm going to leave you with this thought. One last thought. I'm out of breath. I'm so happy that you're here today. I'm so, so happy. Time. Wealthy people spend time on their money. If you need somewhere to start looking at your money, start tracking your money, start having conversations about money. Being here, you're winning. Stay involved in the conversation. Wealthy people spend 20 to 30 hours a month on their money. They make it a priority. They make it their part-time job. I track my money. Dennis here on my team, we track our money all the time. It's really fun. True alignment in your life is living at your highest level financially and with the right people. You take that part of your life on, life gets really fun really fast. Okay? Have the courage to do it and keep having this conversation. Thank you so much. I have so many tools. This could be a 2-hour talk. I'm going to shut up because Tia told me that I have to shut up and be quiet and leave. What are the next steps you're committed to? This is the main thing. I want you to leave here with all this knowledge, all this information, all this inspiration, and I want you to make a commitment today to one thing that you're going to do to start moving to the next level financially. If we all do that together, we create a winning conversation for the next decade, for our children, for the world. American women, this is our job today. Let's take this conversation on and show the rest of the women in the world how to do it and bring them with us. Can you play that game with me? Are you in? Okay, let's do it together. Thank you so much for being here today. If you have questions, I'm going to sign my book. You have my information. Let's raise the worth together. Thank you, thank you, thank you.